All right, another day, another set of spy shots here at gmauthority.com. Which spy shots, you may ask? Well, the upcoming 2023 Chevy Blazer refresh. That's right, gmauthority.com spies have just caught the upcoming refresh of the midsize crossover undergoing testing on public roads in very light camo, giving us our very first look at really what to expect from the upcoming update. So let's dig right in. First things first, the prototype we see here appears to be the range-topping Premier trim level. And as you can see, it is finished in black paint. Additionally, the front features black and white style camo that aims to obscure the front end. And there is some of the same camo out back, which we'll get to in a second. The most impactful updates can be found up front, where we see a new front fascia with revisions to the grille as well as the lighting elements. So first, let's take a look at the grille. The grille incorporates a series of horizontal slats. There is really kind of two thin upper slats followed by a more prominent lower slat. The outer edges of the front bumper are also new, and as you can probably see, they feature kind of a more square surface treatment compared to the more angular design of the current model. The current model, what I mean by that is 2019, that was the year that the Blazer crossover was introduced and launched, followed by 2020, 2021, and now 2022. So 2019 through 2022 featured one set of design parameters here at the front, while the 2023 refresh will feature the changes I just mentioned. There are also changes to the headlights, but before we get into those, we should probably take a step back and just revisit how the new Blazer, the Blazer crossover, what kind of a forward lighting setup it has. So what I mean by that is the following. The Blazer kind of has a more irregular, relatively irregular lighting setup compared to a regular vehicle. What I mean by that is it has a two-tier lighting configuration. So the lights at the very top, those thin squinty ones, those are not actually the headlights. Instead, they are the daytime running lights, and they also serve kind of as a signature accent light for the Blazer. The real headlights, the ones that provide the majority of the forward illumination for the Blazer, those are located below those squinty lights set in within the front fascia. So that's kind of the two-tier, that is exactly the two-tier configuration, the two-tier lighting configuration in the 2019, 20, 21, and 22 Blazer. So the 2023 Blazer refresh will continue with that kind of two-tier lighting setup, but it will have some changes. So now let's take a look at those. The top LED signatures, again, those are the squinty ones at the top. Those lights appear to be getting an update that will mimic the kind of the general design direction of some other Chevy models, specifically the 2022 Chevy Bolt EV, the 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV, as well as the refreshed 2022 Chevy Traverse, the Blazer's larger, longer cousin or brother, if you will. So those squinty ones appear to be getting the same kind of update as in the models that I just mentioned. And this update, what Chevy appears to be doing here is providing some styling and design continuity for itself as a brand. So that will ultimately be the signature, it seems like it will be the signature lighting element for Chevy as a whole, or at least for Chevy crossovers and SUVs. Now moving on down to the actual headlights, again, those are the ones below the squinty lights. Those headlights are still going to be there. They're still roughly, it seems like maybe even exactly in the same place, but they do seem to feature some kind of a fresh design, and it appears to be kind of a projector beam setup with an LED lighting element looking forward. So an entirely new lighting design, both for the squinty daytime running lights / accent lights, as well as the primary headlights that provide the majority of the forward illumination for the Blazer. Now, this prototype does not seem to feature any changes at all to the body side, or really the side of the vehicle. But the rear end does have some noteworthy changes that we should discuss, starting with the taillights. Now these taillights, they're obviously camouflaged, so we can't make out exactly what is hiding beneath the camo. But it appears that they will feature a more subdued design compared to the current Blazer, at least for this premier trim level. Maybe other trim levels will feature a slightly different taillight treatment. I should also note that the reverse lights do appear to have been revised as well. They now appear to be lower within the taillight cluster itself, and they also appear to be closer to the middle of the vehicle, closer to the center of the vehicle, closer to that license plate cutout area. This prototype also features a slight change to the exhaust treatment. This particular one, again, this is the range topping premier trim level, at least the range topping for now. Maybe there will be a high country model that joins the lineup for the 2023 refresh. That certainly isn't out of the realm of possibilities. But if you can tell, if you can kind of look closely here, there is a through fascia exhaust treatment, and that's different from the way that the current model is configured from an exhaust standpoint. Unfortunately, we do not have any shots of the cabin, of the interior, but I will say this: we do expect changes and updates to the interior of the refreshed Blazer as a whole. What changes and updates? Well, there should be better materials used throughout, as well as a new center stack and a larger infotainment screen. Now that center stack, I should clarify what I mean by that. There is, in China, and only in China for the time being, Chevy sells a 3-row version of the Blazer. That model is not sold in North America whatsoever, or really in South America as well. It is sold exclusively and only in China. Now that Chinese Blazer, it has a different center stack configuration, and part of that different configuration is a larger infotainment screen. So we expect that screen and that slightly different center stack will make its way over to the refreshed 2023 Blazer. GM Authority sources also tell us that this Blazer refresh was originally slated for the 2022 model year, but then something happened. What happened? COVID happened. Of course, COVID happened. And so that led to the delay of various new product introductions from GM and from Chevy, as well as delays in refreshes like this Blazer. As a result, the Blazer refresh will not be a 2022 model. The 2022 model will get some small changes over the 2021 model, but the refresh is going to make its way over. At least we expect it to launch for the 2023 model year during the second half of the 2022 calendar year. And for those of you who are wondering what we're even talking about, the Chevy Blazer was reintroduced for the 2019 model year as a midsize crossover, slotting between the compact Chevy Equinox and the full-size Chevy Traverse in Chevrolet's utility lineup. And since its introduction, the new Blazer has performed very, very well from a sales standpoint, from a business standpoint. It's become one of the best-selling vehicles in its segment. Its segment, of course, comprised of the 2-row Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Ford Edge, the Hyundai Santa Fe, Kia Sorento, and so on and so forth. So the Blazer really has found its footing. Of course, now there is a lot of microchip related issues that have impeded production for the past few months. But those issues aside, the Blazer has been really performing well from a sales standpoint. For GMAuthority.com, I'm Alex Luft. Over and out.